Hi everyone, thank you for joining July 2023 Stampin' Class by Mail. I'm Brenda Cardinal of stampintulip.stampinup.net. I've teamed up with Gina Wieselman, a fellow demonstrator and team member of mine, to offer these monthly classes by mail. This month, it's Gina's turn to show you how to stamp and assemble your cards, and next month, it'll be my turn. Here's Gina with the final of the 3 card designs. Make sure to check the links in the video description for the other 2 videos. Have fun making your last card.
Thanks, Brenda. I'm Gina Wieselman of MySweetPaper.com, and I can't wait to show you how to stamp and assemble your cards using the Bright and Beautiful suite by Stampin' Up. This suite can be found in Stampin' Up's 2022 to 2023 annual catalog. If you ordered a class by mail kit from either Brenda or me, you already have all the cardstock and embellishments cut and ready to go. Just pull out the stamp set, ink pads, and other supply items shown here. To place a Stampin' Up! Order and qualify for our current promotions, also make sure to use the host code that's included in the video description. Click subscribe on this YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and please reach out to Brenda or me if you need any supplies or would like to learn more about becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator or hosting an event. Let's get started. This is our double-decker pop-out fun fold design. If you ordered a class by mail, go ahead and pull out all of the parts and pieces that you see here. If you didn't order a class by mail kit and are curious about the exact measurements of all of these pieces, go ahead and sign up for one of our email lists by following the link in the video description. That will give you access to all of our exclusive content. Now, before we start our stamping and assembly, I want to just show you how this card works. So when you open it up, this piece pops out, so you have kind of 2 layers, hence the double decker. But the beautiful thing is it lays completely flat for going in an envelope, and it lays flat so that you can write on it without having too many issues. This layout was inspired by Susan Campfield. She shared all of the measurements for making this mechanism, and I made it my own with the design elements that I added. So thank you, Susan, for that inspiration. We will go ahead and get started with our stamping. Now, one important note is that there are 2 basic white panels, and the smaller one goes on the card front, and the larger one is the inside of our fun fold card. So you'll just want to make sure that you're stamping on the correct one. So we'll start with the inside, and we'll be using our Blueberry Bushel ink. So for the inside, I'm just going to use the greeting Happy Birthday. And I'll position that toward the top so that I can write who it's for and also still have room for my little personalized greeting at the bottom. I'll set that aside, and then for the front of the card, we'll add, I think it's time for a celebration, and that we're going to put at the top of this panel. And then for stamping the balloons, I'm going to bring back my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I'm actually going to start with my lemon lime twist balloon first. So I'll ink that up. And I'm starting with this one just because it's larger, so I feel like the placement is more critical. So I'll put that there. And you know, as I'm looking at it, I see I could have gone a little higher with that one, but that is totally fine. And then I'll do the Blueberry Bushel, the smaller one. And I will add both of the balloon strings using the Blueberry Bushel. I'm going to, while I have this out, go ahead and pull out my envelope as well. And I am going to do, maybe I'll do the lemon lime twist, the larger balloon on here, and then add a string. Okay, that is all of our stamping. Now for assembly, we have our card base here, and we are going to go ahead and just get a sense of how the fold works. So we'll fold it in half along the score line and use our bone folder for a nice crisp fold. And then this piece actually just folds back on itself, so it creates kind of a Z-fold look. With this folded, I am going to bring out my lemon lime twist piece and put that on the back panel first. And this piece was embossed using our Cane Weave 3D embossing folder. And I really liked how this looked, just to give it a nice texture and dimension. And because this is pretty heavily embossed, I'm going to be very generous with my adhesive, just so that it doesn't start to peel up at the sides. So I'll center that on the back panel. Okay. Next, I'm going to add the Designer Series paper to the front. Now, this pack of Designer Series paper is absolutely beautiful. So I couldn't decide on just one pattern. It looked good with so many different ones. So there's a chance that you got this diagonal design in your kit, or possibly this one that's kind of like a herringbone. And I also really liked how this scalloped piece looked too. So maybe you got one, maybe you got two, or all three, but regardless, this design is really fun with that. Okay, with those two pieces adhered, we are going to go ahead and assemble the mechanism. So here is the piece that we'll be inserting, and I'm going to start by folding it in half. We want a nice crisp fold. And then I'm going to fold it in as well to create just a box. One note is we don't want these pieces to overlap at all. So if that's happening, you can go ahead and just kind of fudge it a little bit with your bone folder so that they don't overlap in the center. And that will help ensure that the mechanism operates really smoothly. Okay, so you can see we have it folded in half and each side folded in. Next, we're going to take our tear and tape adhesive, and I'm just going to put some closer to the folded edge on each side. Whoop. And this tear and tape is my favorite when I need things to really hold up. It's super strong. If you wanted, there's enough room that you could put a second strip on each side, but I think this should cut it, so I'm gonna keep it at this. I'm gonna really press down hard on that, and then go ahead and peel up the release paper, if I can get it. This would be a good chance to use my take your pick tool, but that's fine. But then the way that we're going to position this is we want this score line to line up exactly with this score line. And we want it to be approximately centered top to bottom. That's less critical. The score lines lining up is really the most important. So I'm just going to lay it flat, and that creates our pop-up mechanism, and it also folds flat, which is really great. And I'm just gonna reach in with my bone folder and burnish, or just press down pretty hard on the part that's adhered to this embossed piece, just to make sure that it sticks well in all of those grooves and crevices. Okay, with that, we are going to add the stamped panel on the inside. So in terms of placement here, we want it to be, roughly equal border on all three sides. And we also want to make sure that the card can fold flat. So as I'm placing it, I don't necessarily need it really jammed in tight. You can have a tiny bit of space like so, but I'm just going to bring my tear and tape back out and put a piece right there. And I'm going to peel up this release paper. And then for placing this panel, I kind of like to look down from the top. And again, I'm leaving a tiny bit of space there. And then I'm just going to bring it, oops. What I'm trying to do is get it to kind of loosely attach with still a little bit of wiggle room so that if needed, I can adjust. I'm going to push that up a little bit. Okay. I think that looks good. So I'll go ahead and press down nice and hard on that. And now we have that fun pop-up. Next, we're going to add our front panel. So we'll just take our stamped basic white and adhere that onto our berry burst. And most important thing with this is we don't want adhesive on all of this panel or you will seal your card shut. So I'm going to actually use, I think I'll use tear and tape for this as well, since it's just adhered in a small location. So I'm going to put some here, and then I'll just put a smaller piece right there. And peel up this release paper. And to get this double-decker look here, we are just going to go for equal borders of white on the 3 sides that we see. Okay, isn't that fun? The last thing we'll do is just add a little embellishment, and we'll be using the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. There are 4 different colors included in this pack, and we'll be using the Lemon Lime Twist and the Blueberry Bushel. So your kit came with 2, 1 large and 1 small, 1 blue and 1 green, but you can go ahead and place those wherever you like on this card. And with our stamped envelope back in view, here's our double-decker pop-out fun fold design. Thank you for participating in this month's Stampin' Class by Mail, and here's Brenda with a few more things for you.
Thanks, Gina. Love those cards. Make sure to check out the links in the video description for a few key things. Access to the other 2 videos demonstrating this month's cards, a link to sign up for one of our email lists to receive a supply list and measurements for this month's cards, access to a special Pinterest board we curated with even more fun ways you might use this month's supplies, and a sneak peek of August 2023 card designs featuring the Earth and Elegance suite from Stampin' Up's 2023-2024 annual catalog. Thanks for participating in this month's Stampin' Class by Mail, and don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Until next month, happy stamping!